What's good, everybody? Welcome in to Coach and Company Live here on the Stadium Network. Can everybody hear me okay? Because we are live on a Monday. We got me. Okay, awesome. We are live in a hotel that currently is working on their internet, so we'll get through it. But it's a busy, busy day at the brand. We are live in Charlotte, North Carolina, the former home of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. So many things happened this weekend. Preseason football off the charts. We've got PFL news. We've got UFC news. We have so many things to get to over the course of the next 45 minutes. Our countdown to the NFL season continues today with the NFC North. The Lions, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Packers. Also, Weekend Rewind coming up in about 15 minutes. And my guys had a plethora of topics to get to today. Now, today is our busiest day at the brand. You guys know that. In addition to our morning show here, and you can watch us on demand all throughout the day, we have our podcast around 11:15 a.m. Eastern time, and then check it out. That's right. We've got the Coach and Bro Show at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything pro wrestling. Do not forget Off the Ropes on SiriusXM. Channel 156 from 2 to 4 Eastern Time. Today, Mark Henry will be my partner. And then late night tonight, me and Gabby and Tommy and Raphael. It's a whole bunch of people. And it's always different every single week. Approximately 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right after Monday Night Raw. All right, guys. All the housekeeping is over. We've got to it. I believe we're on the air, so we're going to get through it. We power through. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you even in – oh, interesting. The doorbells work in this hotel. I'm glad something does. It's time to beat the books. All right, so look at this motley crew. Look at this motley crew we have here today. Look at this. Look at this. Now, this man, are you going to be in Charlotte this week, Mikey? Yes?
I absolutely am. No bow tie. That's only for today. Since the Bears tied, I wanted to pay honor to them in their preseason opener. So I will be in Charlotte. I'm just ready to get this week started.
Yeah, me too. Now, next to him, this man was all over the place. You talk about an exciting preseason weekend of football. He's our numbers guy for a reason. Say good morning to Raphael Esparza. Good morning, Raphael.
Yeah, who would have thought preseason football would intrigue me all weekend? Because, boy, did we see some touchdowns. Very interesting.
And a shout out to Justin Rose, who got it done in extremely exciting fashion in the first playoff event that I was on the call for at PGA Tour Live yesterday, the St. Jude Championship. This man was on site for the final round live from Memphis, Tennessee. DG, what's good?
Morning, Coach. Morning, guys. The honestly, the last few holes were electric with Fleetwood kind of getting to the top of the leaderboard, falling down, Rose making a run to the top, and then the overtime. Man, it was exciting in Memphis for sure.
Oh, man, I feel horrible. My heart breaks for Tommy Fleetwood. He even met with the media afterwards. He signed autographs. He took pictures. This man continues, and it's almost like the golf gods, DG. They don't want him to win. The way he is losing and finding ways to lose, it's almost believable, isn't it?
Yeah, it was rough because I felt bad for him because he honestly looked like he had control of that final round. And then in the last few holes, just lost it all. And so it was pretty bad to watch just in general.
It really, really was. But don't feel too sorry for him. He still made over $1 million on Sunday. It was a $20 million purse, $4 million to the winner, Justin Rose. And finally, he is our man for all seasons. He is live from the Dirty Big Chuck. Good morning.
Morning, Coachman Company. And speaking of preseason, Kellen Moore may be my new favorite coach, kicking that field goal with 15 seconds left to assure we got to 40 points. Love the preseason. Plus, EPL starts this weekend. What more could you ask for?
Oh, I love me a little English Premier League in the middle of August. All right, guys, let's get to it. Because I want to start this week off with a bang here at Coaching Company. I want to have a winning week. I want to have a bunch of green check marks. So, who wants the smoke? Oh, Raphael, you're the first. I felt a little hesitation from a lot of guys. A little hesitation. All right, Raphael, you get to start. Best bets, go.
No hesitation here, Coach, because we're looking for 5 straight green check marks. That's right, 5 straight. We're going to the Dodgers. That's right, the Dodgers. Team total over 4.5 minus 120. They've hit this prop in 3 out of their last 5 games. I think they're just going to crush Soriano, who's going for the Angels tonight. His ERA in his last 5 games, 7.0. I think the Dodgers are going to have a field day against Peyton's Angels today. So give me the Dodgers team total.
Very, very good, Raphael. I like 5 wins in a row from you. I like being a leader on your side. All right, let's go right below him. DG, what do you got today?
Yeah, we're going to go to a 1+ hit parlay today. It's at minus 115. We're targeting 2 guys that are in phenomenal matchups at this point. William Contreras has a 500 average versus Heaney. He loves hitting left-handed pitching. And then also Corey Seager. He's 2 for 4 versus Nelson with a home run and a double. He's reached safely in 81% of the games against the Diamondbacks. He loves hitting against them. Let's go ahead and go with Corey Seager and William Contreras both to get a hit. Now, talking about dollars, let's go to Chase Dollander over 3.5 Ks at plus 132. The Cardinals, well, they're averaging 5.4 Ks per game to the starting pitchers just in the last 10 games. Dollander, he doesn't pitch at Coors Field tonight. He's in St. Louis, and he's a much better pitcher away from Coors Field. So let's go with Dollander over the 3.5 Ks at plus 132.
Dollar bills, y'all. Nice. I feel 3 green check marks already in my back pocket. So let me go catty corner. Mikey P, let's go.
All right, let's keep these check marks coming in. I'm taking the Philadelphia Phillies money line against the Cincinnati Reds. That's a plus 104. Philly is on a 3-game win streak. And what more could you ask for? They're the 9th best offense in baseball. They're going to a hitter-friendly ballpark. I like the Phillies to continue their role tonight. And then your favorite baseball player you don't know about, Luke Keyshaw of the Minnesota Twins. He has 17 hits and 12 RBIs in his first 41 career at-bats. Give me him for 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs at a plus 105. He has started his career with a 12-game on-base streak. Give me the young guy.
Can you guys feel it? That we're only basically 2 weeks away from having everything at our fingertips. No longer forced to make baseball plays only. We'll have soccer, baseball, and a ton of football. So, Big Chuck, I can feel your energy this morning with the leagues coming back this week. Best bets, what do you got, big boy?
We're going to start in Sweden. Ellsberg and Vernamo. And I just expect a good old-fashioned shootout in this one, especially with Elfsborg home matches averaging 4.1 total goals. Play number 1, both teams to score in over 2.5. This has actually come through in 3 of the last 4 played between these two on Elfsborg home ground. Then we're going to mosey on over to France, Ligue 2. Amiens and Reims, 2 more teams who enjoy hitting the back of the net. We're going to play number 2, the both teams to score. This one is cashed in 7 straight between these two in all competitions.
League dope. I absolutely love when we have those leagues coming back. Dope. All right, if you want to be a part of the side hustle that Big Chuck has going on every single day, scan that QR code. There you see his store. He does all the sports, and not just soccer. But you guys want to stack some more cash? I encourage you to be a part of what Big Chuck is doing over there. Now, we have a big partnership with JTS, Just the Stats, and they're starting to get revved up. The traffic is insane. Marky Model, how was your weekend?
Coach had a fantastic weekend. The model was firing. The cappers picks were lights out. We hit a plus 952 parlay last night just for fun.
Just for fun? Just kind of threw it out there? Just a 952? That's all?
We had a request from a subscriber to put some plays together. We threw DG, myself, and Robbie put them together. And yeah, we hit a 952 parlay last night. So
very, very nice. I like it. But what about today? What is our JTS play of the day?
We're going to pick up where we left off on Friday, Coach, and let's have another winner. We're going to start with Minnesota Twins, Luke Keschel. Mikey P just alluded to it. This kid has been automatic. He's gone over in 11 of his last 12 games, and he's perfect on the road hitting in all 5 games. And we're going to pair him with the Brewers' Bryce Turing to also get a hit. BT's been dialed in at the plate, cashing in 7 of his last 9 overall and doing his best work at home, especially against the Pirates, where he's hitting 4 of the last 5. Put both guys together for a plus 133, just as Stats Sports play of the day.
I absolutely love when we get those plus plays every single day. There is a QR code. We want you to be a part of what we are doing at JTS. Use our code BTT30, and you're going to get 30 days for free. And that'll take you all the way into the beginning of the NFL season. Guys, real quick, I was inspired by DG and his chasing of the almighty youth with the church league basketball, softball, whatever you play. Does anybody know what your boy is going to be doing on Wednesday night right here in Charlotte, North Carolina? Anyone?
Pickleball.
I'll take this one. I'm going to be throwing out a first pitch at a minor league baseball game. I couldn't go majors. This is all about DG, minor league baseball, which you have there in Memphis as well. And I've been practicing. I'm trying to get the whole arm loose. Do we think I'm going to throw a strike or embarrass myself and pull a 50 cent?
I don't think you embarrass yourself, Coach, but there is zero chance you're throwing a strike. I'm just hoping you get it to the catcher, Coach. I have all the faith in the world that you're not going to embarrass yourself. I just want you to hit the catcher in the air with no bounce.
Mikey, clearly DG doesn't remember that your boy was an all-state baseball player. McPherson High School in McPherson, Kansas. All-state first base. And when they needed a closer, they called in the righty. Mikey, would you like to give me a different answer and your confidence in your leader?
Well, first off, if you guys need a new host for Weekday Wagers, I'm more than ready for that opportunity. But yes, Coach, you will not only hit a strike and deliver it, you'll deliver it down the plate, showing some of those Charlotte pitchers how the job is done. Not just an all-state baseball player, an all-state multi-sport athlete of the highest level.
Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate the brown nosing very, very much. Nonsense McGee said, I'll take plus money on a coach strike. Raphael, what do you think the odds might be?
Oh, those will be out this afternoon. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I know what I'm doing this afternoon. Your first pitch.
Oh, yes or no. Now, we can throw in some options, though. We could throw in strike, ball, dirt, to the backstop. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen with this.
I might have 20 prop bets. Will you throw out your arm? Will you fall? I mean, will you have a tucked-in jersey like some other people do when they throw first pitch? I have a whole bunch of prop bets coming up.
Wait a second. You just went to a place that my mind hadn't got. Now I'm all worked up, Raphael. Big Chuck, he's throwing out that I could literally dislocate or throw my arm out and have to have Tommy John surgery in the middle of the NFL season? What are we doing?
It's crazy wishing that on the coach, man. But yeah, just remember he's probably going to have a big target. And most importantly, once you hit that strike, you have to do the Ric Flair woo when you walk off the mound.
Very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to have a microphone or not, but I could do the like people look like I'm doing it. I could do that. Or I could do the dance like the dancing umpire from the Savannah Bananas. Maybe I'll do that. Which, by the way, have you guys been keeping up on the Savannah Bananas? These guys are out of this world. This guy, I think he's legitimately crazy. All right, gentlemen, well done. All right, we're just getting started. And my phone is absolutely blowing up today from all of the different deals, all of the different things that are going on. But still to come here on this show, we've got a little weekend rewind. Where are my guys going? And I'll tell you where I'm going. Shadir Sanders, on behalf of the entire sports universe, we are sorry. And still to come in about 20 minutes from right now, we're talking the NFC North. Will the Detroit Lions finally get over the hump? What about Minnesota with their brand new quarterback? What about Chicago with their second-year quarterback? And what about the Packers? They continue to be a playoff team, but this year, will they be? All that's still to come. We're just getting started on a very busy Monday, but a glorious one. This is Coaching Company, as always, right here on Stadium. Let's go.
Thanks for hanging out with us during the breaks here. We're talking some college football again, and we're going to continue to do this all the way leading up into the first games. Today, we're talking about the Big 12. We're going to lead off with Kansas State. We got Raphael here with us. There were 9-4 last year. There were the Wildcats, but now, Raphael, what do you expect for them to do this season?
First of all, their play is all about their quarterback, Avery Johnson. Can he have another booming year? But they start off the season with Iowa State, and that's no cupcake. This is going to be how their season starts. If they can win this game, then I think they can go 9-4, maybe 10 wins. But if you look at their road schedule, they go to Baylor, which I think Baylor wins the Big 12 because that defense is going to be lights out. But if Avery Johnson can improve than what he did last year, I think they can have a really nice season and go bowling again.
Yeah, we're not talking about the former Spur, Avery Johnson. We're not talking about that guy. We're talking about the quarterback there in Kansas State. But speaking of that first game against Iowa State, it's going to be in Ireland, which is the very first game, week 0. Why we have week 0, I have no idea. But week 0 of college football, it is starting off everything in Ireland. How awesome would it be to be able to be a player in that game just across the pond?
Yeah, it's like exciting game. I mean, Notre Dame usually plays this game, so it's kind of weird to see Kansas State and Iowa State. If Kansas State can run the ball successfully, they can go out Ireland drinking a pint and bringing back a W.
I love it. I love it. Well, this conference should be pretty active. There's a lot of people that are picking Baylor, but also, we're going to talk about Arizona State, who were the champions last year in the next segment. And then we're going to finish up with Texas Tech. But looking at this Kansas State team, I know they have a first game. The line right now is -3.5. If you had to give prediction on their record for this season, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say 8 or 9 because everyone keeps on sleeping in Arizona. They still have to go to Tucson and play Arizona, which are a much improved team. And then they close out their last road game was at Utah. And that's a very tough place to beat the Utes in Utah. So I'm going to say 8. I'm probably circling 8 wins, not 9.
Okay. Well, 8 wins. You heard it here, right here from Raphael. We're going to get into all of these teams. We're breaking down the Big 12, and then we're going to keep this thing going all the way to college football. We'll be right back here on Stadium.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Coach and Company here on the Stadium Network, plowing through a day from Charlotte, North Carolina. We appreciate you all hanging out with us on the busiest day of the week here at BTT Studios. 3 more big shows still to come today off the ropes at SiriusXM Channel 156, the Coach and Bro Show at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and then late night for all of you degenerates out there that love to watch Monday Night Raw. We've got the last word, and who knows what Gabby's going to do tonight. You just never know what she's going to do or what she is going to say. Now, as I was traveling around the weekend doing PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus, there were so many different things going on, which is why every single Monday we go in 1,000 different directions, but we all end up in the same place that we like to call the Weekend Rewind. All right. So where do we start today with so many different topics? Well, I would love to start, DG, with a topic that on the surface is a really positive one until somebody overdoes it. Where are you heading today, sir?
Let's talk about this umpire kid. We saw it. Thank you for doing that. I get that the kid wants to be an umpire when he grows up. I love kids that have personality. I love kids that want to do different things. You don't all have to be, honestly, a rocket scientist. You don't all have to be maybe a doctor. I love the idea of this kid wanting to dress up like an umpire and be in the stands. But what are we doing? We're showing him 94,000 times. I get it. The kid was cool the first time, maybe the second. But we all get it. Like, the kid wants to be the umpire. He's doing stupid things. But what are these parents doing? Like, they letting the kid just stand in the middle. And then also the ushers, get the kid out of the aisle, set him down, make him be in his seat like everybody else is. But the umpire kid, he was cool the first time. Let's get him off the screen. Wow, who knew that I would talk so well that we would get Coach off the screen? All right, well, let's keep this thing going as we do the Weekend Rewind. And let's go ahead and go to our guy right next to me. We're going to go to Raphael, who just joined me in the break.
Normally, NFL preseason games, when I was an odds maker in Vegas, you just put up a total 32, 33, maybe a 33.5. Not this time. The last 17 preseason games, including the Hall of Fame game, 14 of those games have gone over the total. And the average points in those games, 44.5 points per game. Even Big Chuck Saints that started off 3-0 in their game. I'm thinking, oh, here's a dead under. And what happens to that game? Even that game goes over the total. So if you like betting overs, boy, did you have a profitable weekend. Congratulations. And the books are very sad right now.
The first half overs were phenomenal. They a lot of those hit. I think one of the only few games that did not hit was that very last game, of the entire weekend. But it was very profitable. Even that 70-yard field goal, I love seeing that. What, Raphael, just overall your thoughts on that 70-yard field goal? The coach allowing him to do that was pretty cool, right?
Yes, and make it count. I don't care if it was preseason. That should be a record. He hit a 70-yard field goal. Who cares if it's preseason? We have to hear about Sanders being in the Hall of Fame now because what he did in preseason game 1 put this kicker in the record book.
I love it. Yes, the record is 66 yards, and he beat it by 4. All right, well, let's go to some breaking news that just happened. And so, Mikey, you got a little weekend rewind talking about the UFC. What you got?
Yeah, before I get into the UFC, though, I want to give props to PFL Africa. I mean, they had their second event of the year this weekend, 10 fights, 7 finishes, 2 knockout of the year contenders. What an explosive start to my weekend on Saturday morning and afternoon. But the big breaking news did come out before we hit the air today. The UFC has signed their new TV rights deal with Paramount Plus and CBS. So just to give a few details on this deal, it's a 7-year deal worth $7.7 billion. Billion. Let me help you out here, Soupy. That's $1.1 billion per year for the UFC going over to Paramount Plus. The biggest key here is no more pay-per-view model. That is going to be a massive game changer for the combat sports world, for sports bars, for a lot of places. No more pay-per-view models. There's going to be 43 events per year. This is massive, groundbreaking news for the UFC.
It was very much groundbreaking. But Raphael, you had the odds on this, and I see that you just put them into the chat. But was this a surprise coming out of left field for UFC to kind of go with CBS?
It was a prize on all fields, left, center, right. I didn't think Paramount had a shot. It was between Netflix. I heard Amazon was maybe flirting around with it. And, of course, ESPN, especially with WWE going now to ESPN. I thought TKO was maybe going to stick together, but had no clue for Paramount Plus.
Well, speaking of that, explain a little bit. And I know, Mikey, you did that. So, Mikey, just fully explain, they are going to have a lot of these events. And as you say, there are no pay-per-views, which is phenomenal, right? You don't have to pay any extra. Does them doing this and going to Paramount Plus, the reason that Paramount Plus wants to be a big player now as one of the platforms, just like a Netflix, just like we're seeing with these other ones, is that the reason that they go over to Paramount Plus?
Honestly, I just think, first, let me start with this. TKO, what a company. What a week or two, week stretch that they've had between the WWE deal and now this deal with the UFC. I mean, TKO just hit a home run, grand slam, all of the above with their deals. But for the UFC, going over to Paramount Plus, it's just simple business here. They paid the most money. But let's look at the effect this has for Paramount Plus. For my money, which isn't a lot, Paramount Plus has some great, just original programming on their network. Now they also have the NFL. Now you're going to have the UFC, and people aren't going to have to shell out $80 a pay-per-view and wonder, I wonder if ESPN Plus will work this weekend. Paramount Plus is running NFL games. I mean, the network is fine. The subscription price is likely to go up, but I think this was a home run on all sides, and I really like this deal for the fans. But Paramount Plus had to outbid ESPN and Netflix, and that's why you see such a high number.
Do we see this kind of trend keep, up with it, Raphael? At this point, you're talking about WWE going to, the Netflix deal and all that. Is this the trend that's going to be consistent moving forward with these platforms?
I think streaming services is going to be like college football. We're only going to have 4 or 5, and that's pretty much it. So I think it's going to stay that format. I think that means we're going to get Tulsa Kings like season 5, season 6, season 7. That's a great series.
I don't love Paramount Plus. The only reason I go to Paramount Plus is to maybe watch a show that I might have missed of Survivor or Big Brother. That's the only reason I'm going there. I don't even love the platform. I'm not talking as bad. It's just, it's glitchy. I hope this fixes their glitches. I hope it makes it a little bit faster. You talked about college football there, Raphael, and you hit on it over your weekend rewind. Talking a little bit more about the totals that are in the preseason. I know we don't love digging into preseason NFL, but does this make the books now, I guess, make these totals a little bit bigger than they have been years past because of how well they did in the first week?
I think they will. I mean, the one game, the Kansas City Chiefs game, was the only game that moved to 40.5, and that's the only one of the games that went under the total. So I think they're going to maybe bump it up, maybe a point and a half, and I can guarantee you they'll lower the limits on betting totals.
All right, let's talk about the Chicago Bears over here with the guy on the end. I know that you sent me a picture behind the scenes of an outfit that you want to get, which is ridiculous. Everybody knows this huge Bears fan Mikey is. But what do you make of these ties in preseason? Do you think they should make them do something fun, like for the fans, just like the MLB All-Star game? They made them have a home run derby to end it. Should we do something fun, maybe some kickers in a preseason game just to have some fun?
No, because in football, more than any other sport, there is such a high injury risk, especially in Chicago when they're playing at Soldier Field, which is an absolute travesty of a field on that natural grass. When they move, it'll be better. But listen, I like a tie in a preseason football game because preseason, as much as people want to put Shedeur Sanders in the Hall of Fame, preseason is where you figure everything out, top to bottom. How is your coach? Listen, I didn't even care about the actual plays of the game between the Bears and the Dolphins. I wanted to see Ben Johnson in his first game as a head coach. I wanted to see Dennis Allen as defensive coordinator. All those guys. Listen, you guys don't live in football purgatory like I do as a Chicago Bears fan. For the first time in 20 years, I saw coaches with energy, with excitement, with personality. This is the greatest Bears season since 1985, and it's going to be Super Bowl, Super Bears, baby. I'm so ready for it.
Mike, you are oblivious to anything that is right in the world at this point. If you're talking about the Super Bowl, Super Bears, let's go to you, Raphael, because I saw everybody, a lot of people on my timeline that were huge Bears fans talking about this offense from Ben Johnson. They were showing the play action, and that all looked good. And I kept seeing all these highlights, and the score, they still hadn't scored yet. So do you think this is just a smoke and mirrors, or do you think that, we're going to get a real offense for Chicago with Ben Johnson?
I'm hoping Mikey's goes offline right now because he might not want to hear what I have to say, but this is something Bears fans, hold up. Your total season wins just for the division is only 2.5, and they're betting the under. So that's division. You still have to play the Packers, which the Packers have owned you since 1900. Who knows how bad the Packers have beat you. You still have to play the Vikings and that defense. And then you still have to play the Lions, who are the favorite to win a division. So yes, the Bears will be improved, but not Super Bowl Bear country. No way.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. I don't know if you're going to be on the show when we talk about the Bears, but what's your rebuttal there, Mr. Bear?
I just want to know what happened the last time the Bears played the Packers, and I want to know the last quarterback to go into Lambeau Field and beat the Packers in their home stadium. Do you happen to know who that might be?
Ooh, it's one game. Even the ugly dog gets a bone one time.
I'm just asking a question. He was only a rookie, and he had terrible coaching, and now things can only get better. That was Mr. Caleb Williams, by the way. Raphael, I'll say it for you.
All right. Well, I will give you the last 20 seconds, Mike. What do you make of Caleb Williams now, going to be in his sophomore year with this Bears team, with Ben Johnson as a coach? 20 seconds on your thoughts just overall about Caleb Williams and how he will do this year.
Put in the work. They rested him for the week 1 preseason game, but he had to do 75 plays workout. He's got another 25 play workout. He's got to put in the work if he wants to be successful.
I do not believe in Caleb Williams. I don't believe in the Chicago Bears, but I'll be a hater. I'll be that guy. All right. Well, we have so much that we are going to get into today. We're going to talk about the NFC North when we come out of this break. But we're going to have so much fun. It's a Monday, and looks like I am in the saddle for the rest of the show. Coach's Internets is on the fritz. We'll be right back here at Coach Your Company. We're staying in the Big 12, and a team that a lot of people aren't really picking to win the Big 12 this year, but a team that did really well last year, a team that won the Big 12. They had Cam Scatterboo. They went 11-3. They took Texas to that double overtime loss there in the Peach Bowl. But your thoughts on this Arizona State team? How good can they be this season?
I mean, I think the best thing for Arizona State is that they get slept on again, right? This is a team that was predicted to finish last year, and then they go and win the Big 12 conference. You're going to miss out on everyone's favorite college player last year, Cam Scatterbo. That you're obviously going to miss him. But I think Sam Levitt is a Heisman dark horse candidate.
Wow.
And, this is a team, they're now tied. I just looked this morning. They're now tied for the odds-on favorite to win the Big 12. So I think keep sleeping on the Sun Devils. Their expectations are going to be a lot higher, but I think when you lose somebody like Cam Scatterbo, who was like the face of the program, the face of your football team, people will believe that you're going to take a step back, or they're going to believe you exceeded expectations. I think Arizona State is right where they want to be coming into this year.
Well, if you look at this team, they do return a lot of the same players they had last year. The O-line should be even better, obviously with another year under their belt. They don't have Cam Scatterboo, which is the biggest departure for them. And he's obviously now with the Giants. And I expect him, honestly, to kind of fight throughout the season for more and more playing time there in New York. Who knows what they're going to do with the quarterback situation. But do you like this Arizona State team to potentially repeat as the championship? Because they have all the pieces.
They do have all the pieces. And as much as we're all going to miss Cam Scatterbo and, college football, Jordan Tyson, 75 catches, over 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, that's better than a lot of NFL wide receivers have, and that's what he had last year. So if you take Scatterbo out of the offense, I look at Jordan Tyson to be one of the most electric wide receivers in all of college football. Nevertheless, the Big 12. So, yeah, if you have electric and elite playmakers, we've seen what Arizona State did last year when they had that, and I think Tyson will continue to have that.
All right. Well, they went 11-3 last year. I'm excited what they do this year. All right. We'll be right back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. Thank you for joining us right here on Stadium. This is Coach and Company. Coach is out with some bad internet, so I'm going to be taking over as we continue the show. And as everybody knows, we're breaking down all of these divisions within the NFL. So let's go ahead and get to the NFC North today as we bet the future. All right, we're looking at the odds that are live on the screen. We have the Lions at a plus 145, Packers right behind them at a plus 275. Vikings not too far there in that second, third spot with plus 300, but then those Bears at a plus 550. So a little bit further down. This is going to be a very good division. Last year, 15-2 for Detroit winning that, but they went 8-0 on the road, which is impressive. Minnesota, honestly, one of the surprise teams of the entire season, going 14-3 overall. So let's go up top to our guy, Raphael. What are your thoughts on this Lions team at a plus 145? Do you think this is a team that could repeat as a division winner?
No, I mean, I think the injury bug will probably bite them again, just the way they play the game. I mean, they're very physical. I think that's why they get hurt all the time. So plus 145, I want nothing. I still think the Packers at plus 275 is great value. I'm not sold on Minnesota because I haven't seen JJ yet. Not the golfer, but the quarterback. I need to see what he's going to do at quarterback. But there's a prop out there. Yes, you can get the Lions at plus 145. If you like that, then look for the NFC North field. You can get the Lions at plus 155 versus the field. So take the 10 cents more instead of taking them straight up to win the division.
Very smart. It's always good to listen to our guys. They're going to find these nuggets. This is what we do. This is our life. And so we love looking for, just those extra 10 cents will go a long way, especially over time. Going to Mikey. I know we're not going to talk about the Bears yet. Let's talk about these Lions. They are now out of their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, who is in Chicago. Can the Lions repeat? Raphael says no. What do you say?
I think they can, but, it's not just Ben Johnson, as I said here, decked out in Bears gear. It's Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator. How many teams lose both their offensive and defensive coordinators and go 15-2 the next season? I'm going to guess the answer is absolutely never. So for the Detroit Lions, you get Aiden Hutchinson back. You have a lot of consistency on the roster. Dan Campbell, it has the most bravado of any coach in the NFL. I do like the Lions to continue their excellence in the NFC North, but I do think after them, it's wide open for the taking.
It's definitely wide open. All right, I'm going to let you finish us off on the Lions there. What are we doing over here, Chuck? Do we like the Lions? It's not a huge number at plus 145, so you could go any direction. Do you think the Lions have a chance to win this division?
I am against the Lions this season. I just think the schedule is too much for them. I actually like their under season win total 10.5, but they start out week 1 Packers. I think that's a loss. Plus all their challenging games, the Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles, Rams are all on the road. So unlike the Packers that get their harder games at home, theirs are away games. So that's going to be even more difficult. Primetime games, shorter weeks, the changing of coordinators. I'm all against the Lions this season.
Wow, everybody's against the Lions pretty much. All right, let's go to Green Bay a little bit and dig into them. And then we'll kind of have some fun along the way with some of these players. But let's go to Raphael here with the plus 275 of the Packers. I have not been a true believer in Jordan Love. Is he a guy that can be the best quarterback in this division now this season, but also going forward?
I think he could be the best quarterback in this division this year. I think that's why I have high hopes because of their schedule and they get most of their tough games at home. I think the Packers defense is going to be much better. I think they'll be able to run the ball, which will help Jordan Love game after game. So that's why I'm high on the Packers. I just think they improved where they needed to be improved and taking plus 275. And I am always a big fan of Love.
And neither am I. Don't think for a second that I was going to sit back and watch you clowns go through the NFC North without weighing in. So I'm going to boomerang it right back to you, DG. I'll ask you the same question you just asked Raphael. Go.
I don't think that the Jordan Love is going to be the best quarterback. I still think Goff is better than Jordan Love. And a lot of people will say, I'm crazy. But I think that Jared Goff, even though they've lost their offensive coordinator, I still believe in Goff. I still believe in this offense, no matter what they have in Green Bay. And honestly, even the Vikings, and no matter what you say about Caleb Williams there in Chicago with Ben Johnson, I really do think that, this is the Lions division still. I think they repeat again as a champion. And the Packers, they're going to have to sit out another year.
Yeah, one more year. Now, I'm glad you brought up Caleb Williams. Let me go up to Mikey because I'm so glad you got your fandom out of the way today. But he's got a new head coach. Now, I don't know if you've seen the side-by-side with Ben Johnson from the day he was hired to now, but he looks like he's been coaching for like 35 years. But is it going to be worth it, Mikey?
I believe it is. I think, when you look at this division, I've got to agree with what everybody just said. Jordan Love, the Packers threw for a team total 64 passing yards in their preseason opener. That's fantastic. Let me tell you, Matt LaFleur, when you look at what Ben Johnson and the Bears can do, I think the quicker and more pressure they put Caleb Williams into and the way they will amplify that offense, we're going to figure out very quickly by week 2, week 3, week 4, if this is a match made in heaven or if it's, football purgatory for Bears fans once again. There's always next year in Chicago.
Boy, I tell you what, don't tell that to Chicago fans. I was just there a couple of months ago. They want it to be right now. But Big Chuck, and when I look at the name J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings are under the microscope here. When you let a quarterback walk out the door, and the only thing that saves them is the fact that he looked awful in the last week of the season. He looked awful in the playoffs. But when you throw a new quarterback in who was injured last year for a quarterback who had a Pro Bowl-style year, there's a lot of pressure for you to perform.
Absolutely. I think this is the Vikings for me have the most unknown with the quarterback, and it looks like they're going off to get at least 9 wins. But even looking at the schedule, they've almost been given a first place schedule. It kind of looks like Eagles, Chargers, Lions, twice, Packers twice, Ravens, Seahawks, Commanders, Cowboys. So a lot of hard games on that schedule for a rookie quarterback who is injury prone. Who even knows if he gets through the complete season? We could see a second or third quarterback in many.
It's a big gamble, Raphael. Chuck's right, and that's going to change everything. If he goes down, you're throwing in your backup, who's a backup for a reason. How much do you think the books have played into J.J. McCarthy as a quarterback with a little bit of trepidation?
The books were fine. I think the bettors dictated what the books were going to do with Minnesota. And they think JJ's probably much improved in what we saw Sam Darnold for the last 3 games that he played. So I think any positivity JJ can do, I think it's going to hurt the book. So we're just sitting back and seeing the money come in because right now we're in the minus, or not we. The books are in the minus if the Vikings win this division.
But let's be honest, guys. All the focus in this division, even though we've had multiple playoff teams for the last few years, it's going to be on Detroit. It's on Dan Campbell figure out how to be an NFL head coach and not a let's gamble every time we get a chance to gamble. We can't forget 2 years ago, they were one possession away from the Super Bowl. They should have beaten the San Francisco 49ers handily, and he screwed it up. So, DG, do you think Dan Campbell has figured out, or people have set him down and said, Dan, if you just curtail your style just a little bit, maybe punt, or maybe not go for 2, or not go for 4th down from the 35 every single time, and take 3 points, that they could be a legit Super Bowl contender?
I think they are a legit Super Bowl contender, even with Dan Campbell and the way he is. I don't want him to change who he is, because that is the man that got this team to a 15-2 record. However, if you want to look at, there's different ways to coach, whether you're regular season or in the postseason. I think that you have to look at those two differences. And I think in the regular season, he can be a little bit more charismatic, a little bit more aggressive. But in the postseason, keep your aggression. But honestly, you got to tail back a little bit and make the smarter decisions. I think that is going to be what changes for Dan Campbell this year.
That is such a great point. These coaches got to understand, depending on where you're at, whether it's week 1, you coach a little different than week 8, right before your bye week. Or if you already have a playoff spot locked up, then you can coach a little bit different in week 17. That's the evolution of a head coach. And Mikey, let me come over to you, and we're going to go all the way around. Give me the order of how you think the NFC North stacks up this year.
I'm going to take Detroit to finish first, and say what you want. I will take Chicago to finish second. I will take Green Bay to finish third, and Minnesota to finish fourth.
Why Chicago at second?
Because I truly do believe that Ben Johnson will change the game. It's not just Ben Johnson, though. This team went out and they said, oh, we gave up the most sacks in the NFL last year. Let's rebuild our entire interior offensive line, bringing in some of the biggest names available, including Joe Thuney, a 4-time Super Bowl champion. So I really like the fact that they went all in on their quarterback, all in on their head coach, and I believe they'll turn it around quickly.
All right, Chuck, what's your order?
Packers, Bears, Lions, and Vikings. I just think the Packers are the class of the division. I think they get to 10 wins easy. You can even look at division wins. The 3.5 at plus money, I think they soar over the 3.5 also. Yeah, I like the Packers to win it, with the Bears coming in second.
All right, so 2 guys on the Bears coming in second. Raphael.
I'm going Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be the basement because I just don't trust JJ right now. I only trust a golfer named JJ.
Very, very true. DG, where you headed, big boy?
All right, I'm going to be very different, and I don't understand why everybody's so down the Vikings, but let's go with the Detroit Lions coming in the first place, back-to-back again. Then we're going to go with the Vikings come in second. They won with Sam Darnold last year, guys. Sam Darnold is not good. He did get paid, but I think that was smoke and mirrors. And then we're going to go with the Packers and then the Bears. Duh, because they're the Bears. They're coming in fourth.
Oh, my God, you're all just idiots today. Do we not know that Matty LaFleur is a playoff team 5 out of 6 years? We forget the Packers make it to the playoffs every single year under Matty LaFleur except for one. So I'm going to go Detroit, Green Bay, because they're going to be my 2 playoff teams. Then it could be Bears, it could be Vikings. It doesn't really matter. They're going to be 8-9, both of them. I agree with your take on the whole Sam Darnold situation. They're so lucky he played like crap at the end of the year. Can you imagine sending a quarterback away that you went 13-3 and you won a playoff game and you played well? That never would have happened. J.J. McCarthy says, thank you, Sam Darnold, for sucking in the playoffs last year. Gentlemen, well done. We continue our NFC trek tomorrow right here on the Tuesday edition of Coach and Company. All right, coming up on the other side, is it okay for a NFL player to go after a beat writer on the field, in the tunnel? We'll discuss it next. Coach and Company on a glorious sort of Monday right here on Stadium.
Thank you to everyone for continuing their breaks with us. As we don't break, we're going to keep on trekking through the college football Big 12, and then we're talking about the Texas Tech Raiders. All right, let's go ahead and go over to Mark here, who joins us, talk a little Texas Tech. Your thoughts on this team who went 8-5 last year? There have been some speculation that they have a real chance to win the Big 12. What are your thoughts on these Texas Tech?
Look, Texas Tech isn't just knocking on the Big 12's door in 2025. They might kick it in, okay? Wow. Joey McGuire went into the transfer portal with a war chest and came out with one of the most loaded rosters in the country. On defense, they added an edge rusher in David Bailey. They got a top 10 transfer at Stanford. They got UFC's Lee Hunter, one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in the Big 12 last season. And then you throw in Georgia Tech's Romello Height, and you've got a defensive front that can win you games by itself.
Wow, that's shocking to me. One, good job on doing the homework. But just looking at this, just conference, you do have some big players in it. And Raphael alluded to Baylor being a surprise team as well as, the Utes. And so you're looking at Texas Tech. They put in the right pieces, and they've done a lot in if you're looking in the transfer portal and bringing in some guys. But we're talking about, a lot of unknowns on this roster just overall. I don't know how, this team can go from being, 8-5 to really being a 10-win team. Do you see that being realistic, just in all honesty, realistic for them to grab 10 wins this year?
Yeah, and I think without the coaching upgrades that they've already done this offseason, the answer to that question would be no. But they brought in offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich. They brought in a defense coordinator in Sheil Wood, and they're inheriting great caliber players. I think with the upgrades and everything else, they're legitimate contenders in the Big 12.
All right, I want only your prediction. What's their record this year?
I'm going to go 10 and 11 wins. They're going to win 11 games.
Wow, shocking. All right, all of that. We're going to continue on here at Coaching Company.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. It is Coaching Company here on Stadium. Thank you for hanging with us through a Monday as I'm on the road. And I'm not going to tell you the brand of the hotel that I'm in right now, but they know who they are. And right now, you need to make it good with us. Now, gentlemen, Shedeur Sanders, he shocked the world, or at least those that thought he wasn't a really good quarterback, by playing very, very well in Carolina. Wait, in the very city that I am sitting in right now. I can see the stadium from where I'm sitting right now. And that's where Sanders played on Friday night, Saturday night, whatever day it was. But after the game, he confronted a guy by the name of Tony Rossi. Here's the sound. Producer, man, if you don't mind, roll the sound, please.
Tony, I be hoping you be, hold on. Tony, I be hoping you got something positive to say about me. You always say negative stuff about me. And I'm like, I ain't do nothing to you. No, I ain't seen nothing positive that you ever said. I just do positive everything. But I'm saying, come on, Tony.
Is that okay for a player to confront a beat writer in the bowels of an NFL stadium like that?
All right, he did it in the bowels, right? He did it under the stadium where there shouldn't have been cameras, or there normally aren't. I love that. If he'd have done it, honestly, in the post-game press conference, that would be different. But how he did it, face to face, like a man, I love that. Call him out all day long.
He said, "What have I ever done to you?" And I got to be honest, from a guy who I spent a very, very short period of time working in Kansas City, and I was the beat guy for our channel, and I had to walk in to the locker room every single day. I had a player confront me physically because I said he was the reason they lost 1 week when he gave up 2 touchdowns in a 17-14 loss. This is a real thing locally, Mikey, for these players, because that's the coverage they get most. And that's what they get every single day on their local channels and on their websites, or I guess there's still some newspapers out there. But is this okay to you?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I'm going to give credit to both men because Shedeur didn't go on a crazy rant. It wasn't profanity laced. He had a smile on his face. He told the people next to him, quiet down. Let me just have this conversation. And then if you go look at Tony's Twitter or X account since that confrontation, if that's what you want to call it, It's been nothing but positive. Shedeur Sanders forcing the Browns' hand. Shedeur Sanders marvels in preseason debut. So Shedeur put in the work, and then Tony gave the credit where the credit was due. I absolutely love it.
Great point by you. And that's the thing I think that a lot of these OGs, I'll call them, I don't call them old, I'll say OGs, they're trying to figure out where do I belong? I'm not an influencer. I'm not a guy that knows how to get clicks. And so I believe that they think, Raphael, that if I'm negative, that's how I get clicks so I can keep my career for maybe another season as newspapers are absolutely dying. But that's not, you've got to be honest, good and bad.
Yeah, and I just think some of these players, when they see the negative, they think the writer just hates them. Sometimes it's what's your practice player. Sometimes what they see in film is what they're talking about. This reminds me when boxers used to come screaming at me at MGM. Why did you make me the dog? You hate me. You don't like me. And like some guy tried to throw a punch one time at me. It has nothing to do with the fighters or nothing to do with the player. Sometimes it has to do with what we see on film.
How much would we give to see that video of the guy taking a shot at Raphael?
It was an undercard from Oscar De La Hoya fights. I forgot what his name, but he threw a punch at me.
He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any good fighters. All right, Big Chuck, bring us home. Is this okay?
I had no problem with it. They're a little sensitive, but it kind of reminded me of Dion-esque. I can recall him calling out reporters in his day. It kind of reminded me, had a little flashback there. But yeah, thin skin, he's just doing his job. They'll get over it. I like that they kind of hugged and kissed there at the end.
There will never be anything better than Ryan Leaf. He is the all-timer when it comes to locker rooms and beat writers. All right, I know we're going to get off to a much smoother start with our picks than our Wi-Fi. I'm feeling it. It's time to lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less, 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I truly, truly need. Mikey P, start us off.
The Phillies are on a 3-game win streak. I like that to be extended tonight. Give me the Phillies money line at a plus 104 over the Cincinnati Reds. And then Luke Keschel, 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs at a plus 105. He's got a 12-game on-base streak to start his major league career.
DG.
Yeah, we're going to start with Chase Dollander over the 3.5 strikeouts. It's at plus 132. The Cardinals don't strike out a ton, but Chase Dollander only needs 4 here. He's away from Coors. Let's go ahead and get these and then give us some hits. All we need is 1 hit from each guy. Parlay them together at minus 115. William Contreras up against the left-handed pitcher. He rakes. And then Corey Seager going against the Diamondback. He owns them. Both guys to get a hit, minus 115.
Raphael, what do you got?
I'm on a 4-game winning streak. That's why I'm going with the Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 120. They're facing Jose Soriano from the Angels. His last start versus Tampa, he didn't even make 5 innings and gave up 7 runs.
All right, Chuck, talk to me.
Day soccer starting in Sweden, Elfsborg and Värnamo, and with Elfsborg home matches averaging 4.1 total goals, we'll go with both teams to score in over 2.5. That's coming in 3 of their last 4 meetings. And lastly, we go to France Ligue 2. Mainz and Reims, the both teams to score. This one's actually cashed in 7 straight between these 2 clubs.
Very, very good. Oh, I can taste the league play coming back around the world this week. All right, Marky Model, our JTS play of the day.
Is going to go with Minnesota Twins Luke Keschel to get a hit. He has gone over this in 11 of the 12 games since he got called up. He's been perfect on the road, hitting in all 5 road games. We're going to pair him with Brewers' Bryce Terang to also get a hit. Bryce has cashed in 7 of his last 9 overall, and he loves playing the Pirates at home, going over in 4 of the last 5 games. Put them both together for a plus 133. Just Stat Sports play of the day.
Absolutely love it. Scan that QR code. Use our code BTT30. We'll give you 30 days for free to start, and then we're going to be already into week 1, possibly week 2 of the NFL season. All right, we try every single day here at Coach and Company to make you a little bit smarter. Raphael?
If there was a preseason game, I would just say bet the over, but we're going to take the San Diego Padres. They are 12-2 when Yu Darvish has 5 days of rest from his last start, and they've won 7 out of their last 10.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned that. So real quick, sometimes it goes the polar opposite when a week is so heavy to the over. But this is preseason football. It's not week 1 to week 2. So how would you approach this week's games?
I would approach it, look at soft spots again. If you see anything 36 or lower, then take a shot at that. Or look at first half overs, because I still think the starters are going to play first half and pull them. So I would say look at first half overs first.
DG, there's only 3 games, and I think by next year or the year after, we're going to be down to 2 preseason games. But how would you approach this week's and the fact the totals were so high last week?
I think this would be the last week that I would really honestly target any totals at all. But I do love the first halves. There were a lot of 16.5s on the first half that we got, and they were crushing those. The lines moved up to about 19.5. I did see a 20.5, and they were still getting up to those 21 points in the first half combined. And so I like this next week upcoming. I do like that if we can get a 17 to 20 range for any first halves. I do like those.
Mikey, I'm also targeting teams that may have a new offensive coordinator, who may have a new quarterback, that may need to prove what they can do before we get to the regular season, that can't rely on a veteran to walk in week 1 and be ready to go. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this week upcoming is going to be the biggest week for a lot of teams in the NFL, whether it's position battles or coaching and quarterback play. You're going to figure it all out in week 2, because week 3, it's all going to be bench guys, and then it's regular season time.
All right, very good. Producer man, throw that schedule up for me. I need to remind everybody everything we have on the plate today. In addition to Coaching Company, you can also catch the entire show on demand at our Coaching Company YouTube page. By the way, I need you to subscribe. We're very close to being able to do all the content that we want. 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it is Off the Ropes on Sirius XM, channel 156. And, of course, tonight, Coach and Bro at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and The Last Word at 10:30. We've got you absolutely there. All right. That's going to do it. Remember, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Thank God we made it to the finish. Let's take all these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire company, damn it, do I love them all. My man, Big Chuck, Raphael, Mikey P, DG, and Marky Motto. I'm the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We're going to get to football. We're going to get back in the friendly confines, but we continue to dig it out every single day. Coaching Company Live right here on Stadium. Have a great day.